So whatever you're saying now is recorded.
Aktiva insatser för människa och miljö.
I cannot pronounce it.
This is just gonna go on.
Grow your own food.
Give me 1 second.
Because sustainability so many times is just this big fluffy word.
Be the change.
Sure thing.
I think I froze again. I was just listening to Amod and Julian. You say so many cool things.
Mugshot, yeah.
Literally.
Sounds like a perfect start for our coffee break with Glostars. So, hi guys, my name is Anastasia. I am from Glostars, the online platform for photographers and content creators. And I'm very happy to meet three wonderful people today. Daniela, you're obviously a new person and you're my co-host today. Would you like to introduce yourself and say what actually ABC stands for, the magical letters of ABC?
Well, I'm Daniela. I'm at the moment the chairperson of the ABC board. We get this question of what ABC stands for a lot. Well, ABC actually has a longer name. It's ABC Active Contributions for People and the Environment. What we do at ABC is to have multiple local projects as well as projects abroad. All projects have a community-oriented approach to development and to sustainability. So they really go to the grassroots level, try to empower the community, leverage ideas. So anyone can come with an idea and a project can be born out of someone's passion. And that's how many projects were born. And that's what makes ABC and the projects long-term as well. It's because people are very engaged in the projects. We also have collaborations abroad, like Clean Up Nepal and Amod here. Amod, maybe you want to introduce yourself. You call yourself an environmentalist, so maybe you can tell us a little bit of why and what brought you into working with sustainability.
Sure. I didn't know where it started, but let me just talk a little bit about our organization. We call ourselves Clean Up Nepal, and as the name says, it's to clean up Nepal. But it's not so simple in Nepal. What we realize is we talk about environment issue. We are environmentalists, but in Nepal, the whole Clean Nepal mostly primarily works on waste management. Now, waste management seems to be not an environmental issue. It's actually a political issue. It's an ego issue. There's a lot of social dynamic. It's a cultural issue. And at the end, it comes environmental issue. And we started as an activist. I always think I'm an activist. And Cleaner Nepal has always been, we don't consider ourselves as a non-profit organization. What we consider ourselves as a platform for activists such as us, such as me. We can make some changes. We can come over here. We can do something. Everyone needs a platform. This is how we created it. This is why we created it. We're about education, engagement, and empowerment.
How did it happen that you, from ABC, Julia, how did you make the collaboration with Nepal, from Sweden, Nepal? How did it happen with the two organizations?
It was actually in 2010, I believe. There was a youth group from Lund who started a collaboration with the youth organization in Nepal, Youth Action Nepal. And they did exchange both ways numerous times. So Swedish youth from Lund went to Kathmandu and vice versa. And they were exchanging methods and also looking at what resources are available for youth in Sweden compared to Nepal. And from there, an idea to create a youth center that's now called Yuvalaya in Kathmandu originated.
Through some connection, we were given a space at ULA. This was back in 2015 when we were working voluntarily. And we had literally about 4 to 5 people working, and we just needed a free space. We didn't have any money back then. And ULA actually gave us 1 desk, and we started working from there, and that's how we grew.
So you mentioned 2010, 2015. How have you been developing the collaboration since then, and what results have you achieved?
I think for ABC, it has always been very important to build this kind of personal connections through which partnerships were built. And I think it went a lot about having a relationship of trust, and having relationships that build over time. And I think Zero Waste at Schools also started, as you said, Amod, small, and then it grew. It kind of built on its trustworthiness. We got funds from CIV, which is an agency in Sweden that sponsors or funds civil society organizations, and that's how this project could be scaled. And now it has this really beautiful impact in local schools in Kathmandu, and they are really leveraging, or from a pilot, they really scale this kind of project to becoming a model of waste management education in schools.
In 2015-16, when we were working in different I would say, with different stakeholders, we're engaging with community, with the government at the governance level. We still do, but when we worked with children, we found a sudden change. When you go to community, it's always 2 steps ahead one day and 3 steps back another day. And it was very frustrating working with the community. It may have its impact, but you being in a waste management field, environment field for a decade, you don't see that sudden change. But when you work with a student, you see that sudden change. I do want to show you what we have done so far is we have created, because we are a nonprofit, we may not be there. It's a project after all. We may be there for a year, we may not there be for another year. So what we have done is we've created a toolkit for the teachers so that they can continue the education. And likewise, we are trying to get into curriculum as well. We are trying to put our or anyone's course into any course that is related to waste management into our course book, into our curriculum. That's an ongoing effort, and it's a joint effort actually with different organizations that's working. We are working on it. But I wanted to show you if I have that or not. Give me 1 second. A second break.
Yeah.
So this is with ABC. This is with actually ABC. We have created some toolkit. This is in a different language. This is we call it Nepal Bhasa, which is Nepal Bhasa, which is a authentic language, a very ethnic language. And then we have this another language. So we have about 3 languages, and people are loving it.
That's beautiful. I also know that apart from waste management, ABC itself is involved in 3 projects, or shall develop in 3 projects. So, Julia, would you like to introduce those? Because I know something about the bees, something about the plants, and something else. So would you like to tell more what's going on from the ABC side as well?
Sure. So yeah, as Daniela mentioned, ABC has numerous local initiatives here in Lund as well. And they have quite a strong environmental focus, one can say. So as you mentioned, it's the Be the Change beekeeping project that also aims to share a lot of knowledge and tools regarding promoting biodiversity and pollinators in the urban context. And myself, I'm engaged in an urban gardening project called the Odlar, We Garden, it translates to. And from the beginning, it was actually asked from the city, the municipality here in Lund, that we created an urban garden to kind of create a platform for youth, one can say. So it started from that, but it became also, like Amod said, a platform, a meeting place, kind of an open door to a context for people from all over the world. Like the main focus has been teaching and experimenting with sustainable and regenerative ways of cultivating edibles. And then we have humanitarian mapping, which is also a local initiative, but connected to the global context.
What they do is to use free spatial data to map areas that are not as clear as we have, let's say in Europe, we are so used to having every block documented and everything, but it's not like that everywhere. So from what I understood, it's usually calamities that require, or when you have a humanitarian emergency that require this kind of very detailed data or maps that do not exist everywhere. Another project which we have is Food Saving Lund is working to educate on combating food waste. And they do that by collaborating with local businesses to pick up food that's close to expiration. But it's not expired, it's still good to be used and good to be eaten. But according to the chart, it would be going to waste. So what they do is to pick it up and to distribute it in the community. And sometimes they organize community dinners or workshops, how to use food scraps in your diet. And so you have a zero waste.
I was studying sustainability in the university, and I was writing my thesis on the pro-environmental behavior change, actually. But since I was a marketing student also, I was utilizing the tool called gamification to empower, to increment that pro-environmental behavior change. So based on the knowledge and the experience of the projects, how actually to make this change? Not only, like, does it start from yourself, or can it be somehow influenced externally? How to make a change? Hands up. You can answer, of course. You're
I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Daniela, go ahead. I can go at the end.
I think if we look at this kind of change, we can look at that so many levels. It can be individual, it can be community, it can be systemic change. And I think many of the issues that we do want to tackle are systemic, but it's very hard to affect systemic change unless you kind of understand all the dynamics. So scaling down a little bit, the role of the community is there. I think it's important and unquestionable to create these communities of practice, to share learnings. They also have a powerful role in creating inclusion. Like for me, as an international student coming to Lund, becoming part of ABC was a way in which I could get included in the community and be part of something and anchor myself. You know, it's very important to feel rooted into some local cause. Creating these sustainable communities of practice, learning from each other, like ABC is learning from Clean Up Nepal and vice versa, it's very important.
I think it's a lot about, I like that you said, Daniela, that ABC, it's a lot of the projects and ideas have been thanks to relationships. And I think you can have like pragmatic leaders in your organization or in your community that can maybe spark something. But I think, from my experience at least, what actually helps or encourages other people to start something maybe back in their own community, or to take the torch, pass on the torch, is to really like see the people who are coming and engaging, and really focusing a lot on the people. Of course, on the idea, that's what brings you together and motivates you. So I think it's through building relationships and creating places where people feel seen and heard and important. I think that's kind of the key to any like sustainable movement or change.
You guys mentioned a lot this educative character or feature of your activities. So do you think that it's possible to have this collaboration between corporations and NGOs to actually make a change?
Yeah, but I also think that NGOs and grassroots movements can have a very important role in forming public opinion, and that more people want accountability from the larger corporations.
I think as the public is changing, as the consumer is changing, and where the role of the NGO came in to educate and to ask for more from the people in the market and the companies in the market. So I think as the companies are starting to react to that pressure from a more educated, environmentally educated public, they also start to change their approach to NGOs and partnerships. And I think that power, which is always there, you know, financial power against the civil society organization is always there. It's a question how fair and equitable these partnerships are. It is starting to level just by the fact that companies might understand the value that civil society organizations have in the community in shaping opinions and also in this larger theme that now is concerning everyone, like the climate change. And now we see that all the big leaders in the world are meeting in Glasgow to pledge money, which is very important as well, but then coming back to not just promises but having to walk the talk, and that's the next step that we also want to see as civil society organizations, that big companies are not just making pledges, political people don't make pledges, but they actually walk on those promises. And I think one important part to bring back to your marketing discussion is that marketing can also be ethical. Marketing is very important, it's very powerful in shaping attitudes and ideas and awareness and all that comes with marketing, and marketing can be ethical. And I think from inside the industry, there can be a little bit of a change in trying not to market for things that are not ethical or things that we don't stand for, So I think in itself is very, very powerful. And I think what you can do with marketing, Anastasia, in a company in general, is something that can shape attitudes towards a for-profit or the problem that it's attending.
That's actually what we are trying to do in Glostars, because we're building the community at the moment of creators, of content creators, visual content creators, and we actually consume lots of information right now, most of the information through visuals, video content. So why we actually initially got in contact with ABC was because we saw the values that are connected in terms of actually making that possible change, raising the awareness on important issues, and acting local, affecting globally. What daily actions can be sustainable? Let's play a game. Daniela, Julia, and Amod, you're gonna go all one by one, and the one who stops losing. So you should continue the loop. What small actions can be taken, Daniela?
Eat locally produced. I took yours, Julia, I think.
Thanks.
Okay, Julia, now what do you think?
Compost your waste.
Okay, Amod.
Buy locally produced.
Logo promotion, a bit of advertising moment. Daniela, what else?
Teach the others what you know about sustainability.
Borrow and lend. Can be anything from clothes to tools, books.
Yeah, we're going to go with the larger. Do what your grandmother used to do, live the way she used to live, or your grandfather used to live.
Okay, so you're kind of generalizing right now. A bit of cheating.
Yes.
Okay, Daniela, something else. You're on the edge of losing now. The game.
Go the extra mile.
Literally speaking.
I would just say learn. Generally speaking, I would say go the extra mile to learn what the companies you're buying from are doing, how they're treating their people, how they go about their value chain. It's a lot of effort, but try to do that as much as possible.
Do research kind of stuff.
A little bit of research on where you're buying from and who you're buying from.
But would you trust on the label as like organic or something, or do you actually need to go and check it out?
Not the business of labels.
Yeah, my favorite topic, marketing. I'm always like somewhere close.
For another coffee break.
That's true. Julia, something else?
Grow your own food.
Where?
Part of it.
For instance, if I'm living in a flat, where can I grow my food?
On your balcony, in a wooden pallet outside your apartment, in a community garden.
What kind of food can be grown on the balcony? Any type of, or something like specific thing?
Herbs, tomatoes, cucumbers, edible flower.
The salad. Actually, you can make the salad on the balcony. You can grow it and then consume it. Okay, that's nice. That's really nice. Amod, something else.
Okay, the tagline is go crazy with your tires. So basically, the tire is not only for cars, it can be used for creativity as well, for display as well. You can grow plants in your tire. You can do a lot.
You can kind of reuse.
Yep.
Okay. Daniela, something else?
That's actually a nice one to build from, that the circular economy R's. I think very important one is reduce. reduce what you're using, just reuse what you have.
Yeah, but if somebody, for example, likes buying clothes and they don't want to change this habit, how can they still adjust it to be more sustainable then?
That's something we actually had in Lund. You have a lot of students coming in and going, living, and then you have these fairs where people come and swap clothes, and it gives you the feeling that you're getting something new in your wardrobe, but you're not producing any more than there already is. So you're kind of just swapping and reusing what there is already in use. And that's a really nice and very popular activity.
Okay, Julia, something else?
I'll continue with the food topic, foraging. So harvesting or picking things in your surroundings. In Sweden, we have something called allemansrätt, meaning you're allowed to walk and explore a lot of the natural surroundings.
Yeah, I think it's also like in Finland the same. It's like not public forest, because like forests are always belong to somebody, but they're also like you can pick the berries, you can pick the mushrooms. It's allowed there, so you're not restricted from that. Okay, yeah, nice.
This one is very important. This is to everyone, all the viewers. When Clean Up Nepal does cleanup, do join us.
You're actually going very promotional anyway, but I like it. I love it. Why not? We're actually raising the awareness and motivating people. I hope right now we're motivating people to make a change. Daniela, something.
Sorry, I meant to actually, this is more of you need to participate. You need to go out there. You know, that's what I wanted to promote.
Yeah, not just to talk, but actually to act. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what I kind of wanted to highlight again. The need, or not the need, the call to join an action or an initiative that you think makes an impact, or just don't be passive. And I read somewhere a quote, it's like the biggest mistake or the biggest danger is to believe that someone else will save the planet. And it's really up to you to get engaged. You know, it's up to you. If you see something trash on the floor, pick it up. If you see a community you want to join, to learn, to support their mission, do it. You know, just don't wait, just get engaged. And it's a nice way to meet people, to feel like you're included by sharing ideas and values. It has so many benefits.
I'm surprised nobody mentioned walking or cycling instead of using or using public transport.
Daniela said walking that extra mile or running that extra mile.
Yeah, I was thinking she's going to talk about like actual movement and transportation.
I'm actually working now on a project that I should have said that, because I'm working on a project that tries to support people to make the behavioral change towards active mobility and sustainable mobility. So like bike and public transport, and not the personal vehicle and stuff like that. So that is a good one. Thank you.
We're here, there, everywhere in the world to actually embrace the life, the world around that we have. And let's take care of the environment. Let's take care of ourselves, stay safe, and get together more to share knowledge and actually make an action and make a change together. Yeah, thank you very much, guys. It's my pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.